Hello and welcome to the Super Professor Podcast. You're listening to Clemons Kunkel, aka Super Professor. And today's podcast is about another new book of mine coming out called Keys to Unlocking the Universe's Mystery. Now I have another book out on Amazon called Keys to Unlocking the Universe. So if you want to play catch up and learn a little bit more about what I'm talking about, go check out my book on Amazon. I have a couple other books on there. Mystical Truths Tells, a children's book. I have a self-help book, Dream Your Dreams, and a couple of CDs. I have different stuff on there. And also my podcasts are on there. Now, what is my second book about? My second book is explaining how to map speed and direction of the other dimensions. What is a dimension? Well, let's do a quick class here. When Albert Einstein talked about the fourth dimensional plane, space and time, people have a hard time grasping what that means. So we're going to go through it real quick. Look at a TV set. You got up and down, left and right. That's 2D. It's called 2D. You have two-dimensional plane. That's a TV set is two-dimensional plane. What is 3D? The IMAX theater. Why is it called 3D? Because the image comes off the screen and now you have depth. Does that make sense? Does that help you out? So now you have a cube or a sphere. It could be a cube or a sphere that has depth and width. So 3D is depth. There's your 3D. What's 4D? Well, when you're sitting in the IMAX theater, you're not in that movie. You're outside it. You're looking at it. But think of your room that you're sitting in. You have forward, backward, left and right, and up and down. You have depth. If you're sitting in your room, you're in a 3D cube. How do you get to the fourth dimension? Well, you need space and time to move in that cube or that room. So if you're sitting in the chair, you are the fourth dimensional plane. You are the object that's moving in space and time. Does that make sense? The fourth dimension is movement. And it takes time to move from point A to point B. And matter, you are matter. You are matter in the universe. Everything is energy, but you're considered matter. So my theory is that you don't live in the fourth dimensional plane. You don't live in the fifth. We live in at least the sixth dimensional plane. What's the sixth dimensional plane? Thinner space, slower time, heavier matter. All I'm doing is adding to the fourth dimension. The room still stays here. It's just in a different dimensional plane. I hope that explains it a little bit. But you've got to add matter to the equation for the other dimensions to exist. Okay, so how do we go into this further? Well, let's say you're sitting in your room and you look at your thumb. You know I think it's 1 billion neutrinos move through your thumb in 1 second. You don't notice it. You don't feel it. Doesn't affect you. It goes right through your thumb. Neutrinos move through your body constantly. You do not know it. You don't notice it. You don't feel the effects or anything on it. It's the same thing as saying if one person is sitting next to me, my body mass and their body mass, we have a gravitational attraction on each other. We have a pull. There's a mathematical formula for mass pull on an object. I think it's divided by the distance squared. It's the distance of mass 1 times mass 2, or divided by mass 2 over distance squared. I have to rethink myself. But anyway, the distance between an object affects the pull that it has on the object. How do we know that objects have pull? Well, the moon affects our water on Earth. There's a gravitational attraction. There's a lag, but a gravitational attraction that pulls on. It's the mass affects space. How do we know that more? The Earth going around the sun affects the sun. It has a wake on the sun. All right, so mass affects other mass. Doesn't matter that it's 8.3 light years away. We still affect the sun. Okay? All right, so my book is explaining how other dimensions move through us. Now, how did I prove dark matter? I mean, how other dimensions exist. You got string theory, M theory, supergravity theory. You got all these different theories that believe in other dimensional plane. Never been able to prove it. They're even looking for a graviton to slip over from another dimension into our area of space. They spend millions of dollars looking for it. I'm going to tell you, you don't have to keep doing that anymore. Dark matter makes up 27% of the universe. Think about this. Dark matter makes up 27% of the universe. Dark energy makes up 68% of the universe. Now, you're sitting in a chair, look at everything in your room, then go outside and look at the planet, then go outside and look at the trees and the stars and the galaxies, everything that you know about the universe. Every matter that we see and can calculate, that only makes up 5%, roughly 5% of the universe. How is that possible? Because everything else is dark matter and dark energy. They call it dark matter because we can't see it. They call it dark energy because we can't explain what it is. But we know it's affecting our area of space. Dark matter is the other dimension moving through our area of space. That's my theory. And I explain how and why. Dark matter, there's something called dark matter that's a macho. Macho stands for massive compact halo object. So they were looking at a star, and all of a sudden, the star got, instead of being really small, it jumped forward and got really big, stayed there for a bit, and then it went back to normal. They even checked the light spectrum. The star moved forward, and then it moved backwards. We know that was an interference from dark matter. Something moved in front of the light and redirected it and changed it. I'm explaining what dark matter is. I explain what dark energy is. It's the other dimension moving through us. What is dark matter? What is that macho? What is that thing? That macho, massive compact halo object, in my theory, it's a black hole dragging through our area of space, affecting our area of space. So that's in my book, the first one. And dark energy is the energy of that universe sliding through our area of space, squeezing, trying to fit in. How do I explain dark energy? All right, so think of an aquarium. Think of an aquarium half full. So you got forward, backward, left, right, up and down, space and time in there, right? So now think of the aquarium filled half full of water. Now think about this. You got water, oxygen and hydrogen, right? It's cooler. So down below is oxygen and hydrogen. Think of that as the fourth dimensional plane. What do you have on the other half of the aquarium? You have air, which is oxygen and hydrogen. Yes, we got other elements, but we got other elements in the water too. But we're just going to go with something simple. You have two different mediums and a cube. Think of that area of space as a cube. You have two different mediums, but the same. Oxygen and hydrogen, oxygen and hydrogen. One is wet and one is not. One is cooler, one is hotter. That two different temperatures cause two different mediums. Now, I hope that helps you. Now, think of an oil dropper, and you take one drop of oil, the lightweight oil, and you just touch the water with that dropper. When that oil hits that water, it just spreads across the aquarium. It didn't explode. It was a release of energy. The Big Bang was a release of energy. It wasn't an explosion. The oil is a representation of the Big Bang. But why did the oil stretch across the water so quick? Because you have pressure from the air and you have pressure from the water. Everything in the universe is trying to seek balance with each other. I hope that helps you. So now in my theory, I'm saying that we live in at least the sixth dimensional plane, and that we came from a merging of two other universes. One universe is smaller, and the other universe is larger, and when they merged, created our one universe that we see today. Okay? That's the same thing as saying here you got water down below, air up above, but if you poured water into the aquarium, it's not going to mix with the oil, and it's not going to mix with the air. It's going to join with the water, which is the fourth dimensional plane. I hope that helps in an analogy. Now, think about this further. If dark matter and dark energy, dark matter 27%, dark energy 68%. Our universe that we see makes up 5%. Now, if I say there was a merging, this is in the first book, when I say there's a merging of two universes created our one universe, well, what's the proof I have? Well, the Milky Way galaxy is moving at a really, really fast speed, 14 million miles per hour, toward a region of space called the Great Attractor. Now, Milky Way speed is not explainable for how fast we're moving. We don't understand why we're moving at that speed. I'm saying because where the joining happened is where we are. We were sucked in. Now, how does I explain that? Take a water, drop it on a piece of table, and then put another little water droplet right beside it, and just tip it so the water touches. When it touches, it's sucked right in, right? That surface tension, it just sucked in. But it didn't explode, it joined. The surface area is the same, but it pulls around the edges. So in my paperwork on the first book, I explained how the universes merged, and when it happened, it caused certain effects. So the Great Attractor is a gigantic body of galaxies, which is unexplainable. If you have a single Big Bang model and the universe expands and just cools evenly, the Great Attractor doesn't work out. There's too many galaxies clustered too close together. It's unexplainable for a single Big Bang model. But if you have a merging, now you can explain that clustering. There's also something else called the Great Wall. It's a gigantic wall of galaxies at the very reaches of space that we can see, but we can't explain why that's there. Because if the universe is expanding, how did they cluster at the edge when there should be less energy, less mass? I explain why that is there. What else do I have? We have what's called a quasar galaxy with a massive redshift, double lensing. I explain what that is in the first book. So the second book is explaining how we can see the other dimensions, how to map the other dimensions, how to know what a macho is. It's a black hole moving through our area of space, and to back out and say, look at the entire region, stop focusing in on one spot, look outward around the black hole of another dimension and see all the lensing from the galaxy bending that area of fabric of space. We're mapping dark matter and dark energy. We're mapping because we know the universe expands at 1.3 miles a second in every megaparsec. And we're mapping dark matter, but the problem with mapping dark matter, it's there, and then it disappears. So it's hard to map it because it disappears. Does that make sense? It's there and then it's not. So the lensing, I'm going to explain what that lensing is and how to keep track of it and how to know where it's going. Speed, direction, and rotation. What else? In my first book, I explained a whole bunch of stuff, speed, direction, rotation. But in the second book, I go into more details. How do I explain? Oh, think about this. If a black hole, hypothetically, just work with me. If a black hole left a galaxy, how does that galaxy change over time? In my first book, I explain that's called Paul's backspin. I explain what a galaxy will do. Also, if it slipped over, it's still affecting our area of space. A black hole leaves a galaxy and affects as it's going into another dimension, creating another universe. I think black holes slide over to another dimension and the release of energy, and it's free to expand and cool and create a universe. So I have different stages of what happens. There's Al's brainchild, Angela's brainchild, Alex and Angela, and I'm losing track of everything I've done. Sorry about that. But there's 3 different stages that I came up with. There's a cooling, and then Alex's stage is the universe is really hot. When a black hole leaves the universe, it creates when a black hole leaves a galaxy and leaves this universe and creates a new universe, it has to cool off. It needs time to cool. Then as it cools, there's another stage called Angela's stage. When it cools, it forms stars. You'll have nebulas, and then stars are born. You don't have a galaxy yet. You have stars. Then Julian space is when the stars coalesce and create galaxies. So there's 3 different stages. So those 3 different stages, if you're looking through at dark matter, you can go, oh, this is in stage 1, or this is in stage 2, or this is in stage 3. I'm not creating a new wheel. We're going to use our Milky Way galaxy as a template to recognize the other dimensions and how they're moving through it. We're going to use our template of our universe. If we know we came from emerging, we can take our template, and say, hey, is that dark matter showing us that there was emerging in another universe? Or we're going to be able to see it. And also, if we know a black hole slipped over and we see the direction that it's going because it's expanding, we'll be able to know what's happening in that region of space. And with knowing other dimensions are moving right through us, I think we can travel faster than the speed of light without breaking the laws of science. Here's why. Right now, we're moving really fast. The Earth spins at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. So if you're sitting still and you're at the equator, you're moving 1,000 miles per hour. But the Earth is not stationary. The Earth goes around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour. It's got an up and down orbit, okay? I mean, the sun goes up, down, around the Milky Way galaxy. So the sun is not stationary. The sun moves around the Milky Way galaxy at 66,600 miles an hour. You don't notice it. But then the Milky Way galaxy is falling toward a region of space called the Great Attractor at 14 million miles an hour. You understand those speeds? And we're not even done. I'm saying the universe is rotating and expanding as it rotates and falls in another dimension. Just hypothetically, if we're rotating and falling in another dimension, and we step off of this universal plane that we live in right now and step over to the other dimension, we don't stop moving. We still have kinetic energy on us. We still have energy. It's kind of like riding in a car and stepping out. You're not going to stop. You're going to roll. You're going to roll down the hill. That energy is still in you. There's more, and scientists know that there's more mass to the more kinetic energy on the mass of a particle. There's more energy than what can be explained. But if we're falling in another dimension, now you can explain it. I hope this is helping. I'm not talking too fast. I get excited about talking about my books and theories. So I think we can travel faster than the speed of light by stepping over to another dimension. Now, am I coming up with something crazy? Like, let me think about this. when we built a sail and used the wind current to go around the ocean, it took months to get to the New World. The United States was called the New World. But it's just a continent. But it took months to get there. Now, we use a plane and we fly to other continents. It don't take months, it just takes hours. So, and then, now think about this further. When they built a hot air balloon, did they get the air to move, or was the air moving? The air was already moving. The balloon just went up, caught the air current, and moved. When you fly a kite, you can take the kite up higher and higher and higher. You're using the wind current to raise the kite. All I want to do is take the space current that's moving through us and use it. Step over to another dimension that's there in front of us and use it. Have I figured it out yet? No. Am I trying? Yes, I want to step over to another dimension. I think we can travel faster than the speed of light without breaking the laws of physics. Nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. Speed of light's 186,282 miles per second in the vacuum of space. Different speed depending on where you live. If you're living on Earth, you're not living in space. If you're on Earth, it's 186,000 miles per second. But if light travels through water, it slows down again. Light travels at different speed depending upon the medium that it's moving through. The mass that's there affects light. I hope that helps you. So, let's say you're at the airport. Remember how there's two escalators, one going one way, one going the other, and you just stand there and move? But if you took your luggage and set it on the other escalator and let go of it, it's going to go one direction and you're going the other. You didn't use a lot of energy to put your suitcase on there. You use the current that's moving. The escalator's moving and you're moving. We're just going to use the current that's there. Same thing when the astronauts go up. The International Space Station goes around the Earth something like 17 times a day. It's just falling around the Earth constantly. They see the sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. So they're falling around Earth. They're not using engines. They're just falling around the Earth. It's not taking them any power. They're using the Earth's gravity and just falling around and around and around. We're going to use space power to travel faster than the speed of light by stepping over to the other dimension and stepping back. But let's do something hypothetical. If I said we could do it, if I had a ship right now, I told you right now I have a ship that can travel faster than the speed of light. We can step over to another dimension, go to a Goldilocks zone planet. Can we go? The answer is no. Even if I had a ship right now, at this very instant, that could step over to another dimension and travel faster than the speed of light, go to another planet, we can't go because we don't know where we're going. All the star charts, all the mapping is out of date. Everything is in the past. Everything we look at is the past. If you look at the sun, it's 8.3 minutes in the past. That's not the present. The sun's not where you see it. It's moved 8.3 minutes ahead. So 8.3 minutes later, when you see the sun, oh, that's where the sun was when I thought it was there. Does that make sense? If you're on this, I think I might be talking too fast. If you're standing on the sun right now, at this very instant, and you turn the flashlight toward Earth, we won't see it. We won't see that light until 8.3 minutes later. Because that's how far away the sun is. We don't see it instantly. Everything, every star that we look at is in the past. Think of the closest star, Proxima Centauri. It's 4.3 light years away. That means it took 4.3 years for that light from that star to reach Earth. That means that them suns have been moving for 4.3 years. It's not where we think it is. It's done moved a lot. So every star, every galaxy we look at, they're not there. They're also, if we're looking 100 years or 1,000, 100 1,000 light years away, well, that star could have exploded and died. We look at stars that could already be, or they're already dead. Scientists know this. So we have to have new mapping done to travel faster than the speed of light. And the reason I'm doing the podcast is that we need to start planning now for faster than light speed travel. Can't say it's not possible. It's also not possible to put food in a box and have it come out hot. Welcome to my microwave. It's also not possible for germs to jump from one mouth to another. Welcome to the COVID-19. Everything is science. Go and listen to science and recognize what we can do. You listen to me on a phone or your TV set or something because it's a podcast. You're grabbing energy that it doesn't bother you. You're grabbing energy that has it's a signal. So it has a wavelength. So I'm saying we need to plan now for faster than light speed travel. We need star charts from that planet to our planet. So if we decide to go to Goldilocks zone planet, let's do something hypothetical that's 20 light years away. Well, if we're going to go there, we need to know where that planet is now before we go step to another dimension and get there. Here's another thing. If we go to that planet and look back at Earth, Earth is not where we think it is because it's the past. So now we need a star chart from that planet looking backwards to where we are. We can't go by the maps we have. So we need to change the mapping on going there and getting back. Just 20 light years. And I think the Milky Way galaxy has roughly, I think it was 1 billion stars, and now it's up to 1 trillion. And that's just the Milky Way galaxy. There's back in the old days, there was 125 billion galaxies out there. And that's old information. So the universe is really large. That means the other universes are large, and we can travel faster than the speed of light if we go over to them and step back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What does that also mean? Well, if we know that speed affects time, and we step over to another dimension, that dimension is going to have different time, different speed. It's kind of like the International Space Station going around the Earth. It has different speed. It has a different time clock than ours. The faster you go, time slows down. They're going way faster. They're falling around Earth. Their time clock is different. The time clock on Mars is different. Everything is different. We know time is affected by speed and matter. So when we go to another planet, we got to reset our time clocks. We need different time clocks. We need to really, really, really plan ahead how to live on another Goldilocks zone planet. Yeah, Mars is nice, but we really need something better. Mars is a stepping stone. We need a planet that we can live on, and there's plenty of them out there. We need a Goldilocks zone planet. What's a Goldilocks zone planet? A Goldilocks zone planet is it's the porridge. The porridge is not too hot, not too cold. It's just right. So if the planet is too close to that sun, life won't be able to support. Life will not be able to thrive on a too hot of a planet. If the planet is too far away from the sun, it's too cold. Life cannot be supported. Has to be in the Goldilocks zone area. It has to be just the right distance from that star. Every star is different. Some planets are around a binary star. That means 2 of them. So we have to plan ahead. And then, once we get there, we're not going to go there with just us. We're going to send a probe, just like we went to Mars. We need to map the other dimensions, and we need to map our dimensions and change how we're viewing things. We need to change our star charts because they're out of date for faster than light speed travel. All right. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope to hear from you. And I got to get the book out. So anyway, you take care. My name is Clemons Leon Kunkel. You want to see what I can do? Go to my YouTube channel, Clemons, Clemons, Kunkel, Kunkel. I break beer bottle, wine bottle, and concrete block with my bare hands. Alrighty? So you guys be careful, be safe. COVID-19 is dangerous, so do your part, wear your mask, be safe, people. Take care. And man-made climate change is dangerous as hell. Oh, that's right. I did publish a book, Man-Made Climate Change. You can check that out on Amazon also. Take care. Be safe. You guys have a good one.